Hello, I'm Rashi Goel and I'm pursuing BLLB from University of Petroleum and Energy Studies, Dehradun. And currently, I'm a legal intern at LEXIS and Company for the month of June. So, in today's video, I'll be talking about legal requirements for e-commerce business in India. So, before that, first let's discuss what is e-commerce. Traditionally, trade is the exchange of goods and services between buyers and sellers at a common place for consideration. The buying and selling of goods and services through internet is known as electronic commerce or e-commerce. And there is no definite definition for e-commerce. It is basically a process where trade in goods and services will be done through online mode. Also, e-commerce has been classified in 3 points: C2C, B2C and B2B. C2C is consumer to consumer, B2C is business to consumer and B2B is business to business. E-commerce includes both retail and wholesale trade and a wide range of services. Though it has impacted the traditional modes of trade and businesses, allied businesses of e-commerce like banking, investments, warehousing, logistic, information technology, advertisements, etc. It contributes to the growth of economy and helps to bring new talent and entrepreneurs. India too adapted to this change, and e-commerce is now a multi-billion dollars industry in India. Now further, let's discuss the steps for starting e-commerce business in India. First step to start an e-commerce business is registration as per the extant laws or the given laws. Second step is the IT infrastructure or architecture for doing a business. Third step is access to the sources of goods. Fourth, storage, quality control and delivery mechanisms. And the final step is payment method, safe payment gateways to ensure the reliability. Also, any type of business, whether sole proprietorship, partnership, company, private or public, or limited liability partnership, can set up an e-commerce business platform. Further, let's discuss the legal requirements for an e-commerce business in India. To ensure limited liability, it's advisable for the companies to engage in online businesses to get registered as required under the Companies Act 2013. Similarly, in the Consumer Protection Act, laws relating to intellectual property, taxation, RBI rules, Evidence Act, CPC or IPC are also applicable to the online transactions. E-commerce players are also required to comply with cyber laws, labor laws, and various other state laws as applicable. The e-commerce business needs to obtain the tax ID number from the tax authorities, a permanent account number, value added tax, tax deduction account number, etc. So, the rules laid down by the RBI needs to be followed when the payments are made to the sellers outside India and when the investments are made by the foreigners. The business must also comply with the Payments and Settlement System Act 2007. And the typical mode of payment for online transactions are COD, that is cash on delivery, credit and debit cards, online wallets, net banking, electronic fund transfer, encashing reward points, etc. So another requirement the business needs to fulfill before starting its trade is to create a secure payment gateway. In India, business can choose from 2 types of payment gateways that will be applicable to their website. First is payment gateway with no setup fees, where a third-party services that has ties up with many banks will provide a gateway service. For example, there is an app PayPal or PayUmoney that will charge a higher transaction fees. And second is payment gateway with setup fees, which are faster in processing. It is where a bank of business choice will provide a payment gateway. It is also crucial to ensure that methods used in accordance with the RBI rules and gateway has acquired licenses from the RBI. Also, the IT Act upholds and strengthens the provisions of Contract Act with respect to e-contracts. The Act provides for the penalties and for the wrongful disclosure of personal information and financial information. The Indian Contract Act 1872 is applicable to all the oral and written contracts which are entered within the territory of India. Therefore, it is applicable to electronic transactions also. And further, this act provides for certain essentials to make any contract legal. So the first essential is there must be a free consent of the contracting parties. Second is there should be a lawful consideration for the contract. Third essential is the party should be competent to execute the contract. And fourth is the object of the contract should be lawful. E-commerce is based on electronically made contracts which are executed through a software known as e-contracts. E-contracts are very similar to the traditional commercial contracts. The seller presents his goods and services at certain prices and terms to the prospective buyers, and the buyer considers and negotiates the price and terms, places order and make payments, upon which the seller delivers the product. Also, the Consumer Protection Act 1986 will be applicable in the cases of online transactions only when actual sales takes place and the person buying or rendering the service will be called a consumer within the definition of the act. However, the act isn't applicable when the consumer isn't charged by any online platform. The liability arises under the Consumer Protection Act when there is a deficiency in services or defect in goods or occurrence of any unfair trade practices happens. The Consumer Protection Act provides for the redress of disputes by removal of the defect, replacement of the good, return of the price paid, or compensation, and discontinue the unfair trade practice. Lastly, let's talk about the issues related to IT. For a business to use an online platform for trade, they must use a licensed technology or their own technology. The license must be taken from a rightful owner, and if technology is self-owned, then the business must patent it. The business must register its domain name by completing the required formalities with the National Registrar. The domain name is an internet address, for example, google.com. A domain name is a form of trademark. The domain name must be distinct and can't be similar to any other domain name, and only then it will be registered. Apart from the trademark, other intellectual property laws of India like Copyright Act, Patent Act, geographical indications need to be complied with. Care should be taken to ensure that merchandise or whatever the products are sold on the website is authentic in order to prevent the infringement of brand's right. Thank you everyone for watching my video. I hope you like it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. And don't forget to let me know your feedback in the comment section. Stay home, stay safe, stay healthy.